This is Rio. He is a 3-year-old, and I met him on a mission trip that I took my senior year of high school. He holds a very special part in this story, but we'll get back to him. Sending people to Africa has to be organized, thought out, and purposeful. For this, we look to organizations like the African Inland Mission. The African Inland Mission is a nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing the gospel and supporting communities across Africa. One quote that I really love is, "Our world, our problem." Just because we don't see it every day, it doesn't mean that there aren't people out there struggling every single day. Christians and people alike are called to love one another, which can be done through support. Even if we're not Christian, we all share values like justice, education, love, and humanitarian aid. My senior year, I spent 2.5 weeks off of school to travel to Kenya myself. There we distributed food, helped economically, and shared love and good news. AIM mentioned in January of this year on their website that they've reached 20 African countries. They're still fighting for the rest. The African Inland Mission is wildly important as they're fighting to train and send missionaries to third world countries and spread the good news of the gospel. Initially, we will discuss how prevalent the need is for missionaries in Africa, especially in Kenya, before we move to talking about how AIM is changing lives by stepping up as a company with volunteers. Finally, we'll look at what we can do from the palms of our hands. To introduce the topic, let's first understand that only 20 African nations are currently receiving humanitarian aid. Simon Van Tatum made a post to Our World in Data on April 30th of this year, saying that only 67% of people in Africa, not only, all 67% of people in Africa are living in extreme poverty. We've all heard the stories, but seeing it yourself is a whole new side. People are truly out there living without clean water, housing, clothes, food, and healthcare. During my trip, one of the first places we visited was an IDP camp. There we were able to help distribute food, help economically, and watched as the church provided shelter. I watched as people took care of one another, and most of all, I've never met such happy, hopeful people in all my life. After viewing such an instant and prevalent need, it was clear that someone needed to step up and help. The thing, though, is that this need isn't new. Wheaton College posted on August 1st, on 2021, an online article that highlighted how AIM started in 1895. A man named Peter Cameron was a Scottish man, and he led 6 missionaries to Kenya to do exactly what we're doing today. Since then, the need for supplies, missionaries, and morale has only grown. The African Inland Mission is addressing those needs directly by training specialized missionaries. Wells are being built to bring clean water to communities. Churches are uprising to bring hope back to hearts. Teachers are being trained and traveled to educate the less fortunate, and healthcare workers are being trained to save lives. Even people who don't share Christian values can recognize that the African Inland Mission is truly changing lives in more ways than one. Knowing the statistics is important, but to connect to the mission, we have to look at direct examples. And this is like Rio. Rio, being 3 years old, was laid in my arms during a church service. I sang and rocked him for hours while he slept. I did this all without knowing that there was much wrong with him and his family. Later, I learned he was adopted and abandoned with his siblings into the IDP camp. He was also paralyzed from the waist down and was predicted never to walk. The African Inland Mission was having none of this when they heard that and were able to provide him with health care that now has him predicted to walk at age 10. None of that would have been possible without the church. I was there and was able to help his family as well, which was only made possible through AIM. Rio was just one of the many lives changed on this mission. When we support companies like this, we're not just helping, but we're saving. Let's look at what we can do. With the African Inland Mission being as important as they are, we can help their goal to send specialized missionaries and helping in third world countries like Kenya by doing the same thing that we already do every day, sharing social media. Today we learned how dire the need is for missionaries and how AIM is aiming to fix it. We also learned how we affect more than one life when we choose to support AIM. As busy, broke college students, I can't ask you to take 2 weeks off and fly to Africa. I also can't ask you to donate a bunch of your money that we all work so hard for. The best way for us to help is by sharing social media so that their mission gets reached by people who are in situations where they're more able to donate their money, where they're more able to go fly out to Africa. You can follow and share their page anytime at African Inland Mission USA on Instagram or Mission Africa International on Facebook. I'd like to say I'm open to conversation or questions on this topic anytime. From the palms of our hands to the next, we can change lives, but first we plant the seeds. Thank you.